What's going on, everybody? It's your boy C-Zar, and we are talking about pajamas today. Hit that like button, subscribe if you want to see more content like this. Let's get into it. We're doing some big things. Yesterday was a good day. It was a good day, and it might continue to be a good day, right? What we're doing here, if we look at this, I'm just going to get rid of the RSI there. 1, 2, 3 moving average, right? That's what the length is, input style length right there. Yeah, length 123. Okay, that's this blue line. Now, it didn't exist back here because it took 123 days to form it, which happened to be down here, right? We didn't see if it crossed below the line. We didn't see how it interacted there. We don't know how it would look, right, where it would be. It's not fair to assume. But here, with our first interaction, we did find a double top on it, right? Both times going a little bit through it, but you found resistance in this area nonetheless, and it sent you down to the depths. Recently, we've broken above it. We actually pulled back right to it right here and bounced off it, showing a positive reaction with this line. Another significant moment interacting with this line, right? Here we are on our second low, right? Double top, double bottom, finding support just a little bit below the line, finding resistance just a little bit above it, down to the depths, up to the heavens. It's a simple perspective. It's not backed by a lot of iterations. It's only backed by one example that we have, or two, however you want to look at it. But it does prompt a rather bullish kind of idea that could come from this afterwards, right? Not only that, we look at this here. We look at where we found our low on the closing price. Was a previous area of resistance here, previous area of resistance here, kind of around the central point of this support area here. Also, like right at this focal point of this symmetrical triangle here, right? Like if you're drawing from the lows there down to the highs, it's like this little, you drew a circle at the end of it. It's like you found support right there. I don't know. Kind of in this area. Found resistance right here. Found support time and time again right there, right? Day after day. Somewhat of a significant area in the charts. I would think, even without the 123 here, I would think it makes sense to find support here, especially relatively speaking, finding support at previous areas of resistance. Not only that, my friends, but from a low to a high, you pulled all the way back down to your 61869, the golden ratio itself of this move up. Okay, it's a bit intense. This is a low liquidity meme coin. Okay, this seems like a normal move down, and it is moving down to the 618. But from a high to the low, you guys, that was an 80% correction. That was really intense. With that kind of correction, right, like that could be all she wrote. That could be it. We don't need to move lower. You could move lower. This is a low liquidity altcoin, but holding your golden ratio like that, holding that zone, holding your 1, 2, 3, holding previous areas of significance in the price, I don't think it's a coincidence that all these things are happening at once, right? I really do believe that pajamas is not just moving up, but it's going to move higher than this high. I don't know how high it's going to go, right? Like if we look at it like this, right? Here's your first move up, your first move down. You're going to have another move up, and then you're going to have another move down. And you're going to have another move up, and you're going to have another move down. You know, like or maybe you only have one more move up, and then you shit the bed for life. You know, I don't know how it looks. All I know is that this next move up is probably going to be above this high. Okay, finding support at the golden ratio, finding support at all these areas, likely, and with the reaction we've gotten so far, more volume on a daily perspective. Let's look real quick. Hold on. Right? Since those big days here, yesterday and the day before, right, we've got more volume here than we did like the last 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 days. The last 2 days of volume have been more than the last week, right? Not all together, but just those last 2 days were the biggest days of volume, and they were the days that we found support and started moving up, right? You look at the 4-hour candles. You get some bigger candles here, right? The biggest candle that we saw on a 4-hour basis since those highs, it came in on these moves up as well. I assume again, like I was saying before I got all kind of distracted there, I assume this next move up, right? Here's our first move up. Our next move up will be higher than this. It won't be a straight line up, right? It seems like it was a straight line up here, but you moved up, you moved down. This whole way, you had corrections. Let's see, from a high to a low, you had a 45% correction in the course of 2 days. Here, in the same day, you moved all the way up here, and then you closed down here, you had a 54% correction. The next day, over a 3-day period, you moved down 49.6%, right? It was not a straight line. Even here, from high to low, you moved down 25%, right? It wasn't a straight line all the way up there, but you did move up there in a relatively short amount of time. I would assume, again, not in a straight line, there will be pullbacks along the way, but in a very short amount of time, that will be above this high. And how we project targets out, we take the high to the low, we look at our 1272 to our 1618. These are the target areas that we would expect to move to. We're at about half a cent right now, $0.005598. The minimum target, by the way, again, short amount of time, right? This happened from November 11th to November 19th, 8 days, about a week's time. We're just beginning December. So certainly by the end of this month, I would expect Pajamas from its current price would do more than a 5x, potentially even actually a 6x, I think is appropriate to say 6x to a 10.5x. And that's just the primary target zone, let alone if it goes higher. Okay. Is it too late to get into Pajamas? Absolutely not. And that's why I'm making this video. I want people to get in before it takes off. Not financial advice, not a financial advisor. Do not put all your money in this thing. Don't do it, okay? It should be a small percentage of your portfolio, okay? If it grows to a significant portion of your portfolio, let it start from a small point. Don't put a lot in because you never know. This is a meme coin. This is a low liquidity market cap or low liquidity coin with a low market cap. You never know. So you don't put your life savings in something like this. If your life savings is $100, then fine. Maybe roll the dice because you can probably make $100 relatively quickly, right? If your life savings is $100,000, maybe don't roll the dice. For every person whose life savings is $100,000, it probably took you some time to build that up, right? You're probably not, if that's your life savings, you're probably not 20 years old with $100,000 unless you're like an entrepreneur or, you know, you've got money in your family, right? And most people aren't either of those things, right? Most people, if you're working up and $100,000 is what you have to show for your life savings, you put time and effort into acquiring that money. Don't put money in this thing that took time and effort to acquire, okay? Some fun money is okay, right? That's what I did. It's turned into more significant money, but again, if it turns into significant money, that's good. You don't want to put significant money into it and try to turn it into significant money because oftentimes when you do that, you turn significant money into dust. Put dust into it and try to turn it into something significant, if that makes sense. If that makes sense. Sorry, my voice cut out there. Okay. Without me being dad, from our recent high to low here, okay, this high to low, this move here, you actually moved all the way up to your 2272, all the way up there. Deep extension. So when I say this is your primary target, which is anything from a 6x to a 10.5x, I mean, when I say it's your primary target, I mean that you could see higher targets, right? The last time this move here, you went all the way up to your 2272. That's a 30x from here. Now, I'm not saying that you would do a 30x in 8 days, but from a low to a high, last time you did do a 10, almost an 11x in 8 days, right? And I would expect, personally, looking at the RSI, looking at how it is, I would expect that this move is stronger. So I think it's safe to assume something that's at like 5.8 cents or higher is coming our way. And here's the real cool part. Here's the thing that I think is really cool. Here's our current all-time highs, okay? If we break above our current all-time highs, which all it would take is a move above 3.7 cents, and we have multiple targets, several targets, and it's more likely even that we do go above this. Likely then, we're not just playing off of this fib, okay? We're playing off of this fib, the granddaddy fib from the all-time high to this relative low that we just had. And then your 1886 coming in line very well with that 1272, okay? The 1886 being the direct fib level that's before your 2272. Of this move here, the 2272 is up here at a 29x. That's right in between your 1618 and your 1414 of this overall move. You really could see Pajamas top off at a 30x by the end of this year, if not by the end of this move overall. Right? It could maybe sometime at the end of January. or later. It could be later, right? It could go higher. Maybe you see a 40 something. It's hard to say, but I do think Pajamas is going to do very well for itself. I think it's at a good area to buy now. I think it's showing promise. It's showing strength. And I think, and I've said this for a while. I have nothing to back this up. It's a theory using deductive reasoning. I think there's more going on with this project than meets the eye. And I think that they're keeping it on the hush hush so that they can accumulate, or so that it's more fair launch, whatever, or so that it hits people by surprise more so. But the 20th, or is it the 20th or the 25th anniversary of the Pajamas YouTube video? It's coming out in May. That's the anniversary. So I'm assuming Steve Chen and the Pajamas community, they've got stuff they're working on to release in honor of that. It's December now. All of December, January, February, March, April, May, 6 months. It's about a half year away. In that time, though, I expect we're going to be at dramatically higher prices than we are now. We're at about a $4 or $5 million market cap. I would expect we're at a $5.4 million market cap. I think that it's completely possible that this coin could be worth more than $100 million in market cap by May. I really do. It could be worth more than that, and it could be sooner than that. But I think it's gonna blow up a lot. I think there's a lot going on. Again, all that stuff, that's just like hopium. That's literally, there's nothing concrete in me saying that. It's all, call it a gut feeling, call it deductive reasoning. But I don't think a guy like Steve Chen, who claims to put 60 to 80 hours of work a week into this thing, he calls it work. He calls it a project, the most exciting project he's been a part of since the creation of YouTube. I don't assume a guy like that goes on an interview, says that publicly, and then goes radio dark about Pajamas, like basically right after that interview. I don't think a guy like that is doing nothing, right? I think there's something that's going on. There's a reason why he went radio silent, and I think we're going to know. I think we're going to know, right? Timing, anticipation, all of that, those are good things, right? Those are good things to build any kind of anything, right? Timing and anticipation. And I think Steve Chen, being a CEO, or the former CTO of YouTube, being one of the YouTube founders, I think he's aware of how to do marketing, of how timing goes, right? And I'm losing what I was trying to say, but I'm at the end of the video anyways, guys. I think Pajamas is going to be one of those meme coins that it might not be the most like top performing meme coin of the cycle. It might not be something that everybody knows about. Maybe it will be. That's the hope in any kind of meme coin that's below $10 million, right? You want it to become popular. You want to get in on these coins before they do a 1000x. Of course, that's the hope and dream, but most of them don't do that. But something like this could gain enough traction where it does see a pretty significant market cap from here, and it does see some healthy organic growth. You don't have to catch the peanut, the Pepe, the coins that go to multiple billions of dollars in market cap valuation this cycle to see 100x gains or 50x gains. You can do it in these coins too. But with coins that have less liquidity, less market cap, it's very important to not throw the bank at it. Little investment, have some fun, right? If you've got like whatever percentage of your portfolio, I wouldn't put more than like 5% in like total 5% in low cap meme coins, right? Let alone just one thing. I had my mom buy some of this recently, right? I had her buy some Pajamas recently. I think it's going to do well. I talked her into it. I was hyping her up. She put in less than 1% of her portfolio, right? And that's fine. I didn't try to encourage her to put more in because you never know with stuff like this, right? Just that's why I'm spending so much time doing this like kind of precaution. I believe in Pajamas. I believe everything I've said. I do believe, and I'm confident that it'll come true, everything I've said. But markets don't care. Money doesn't care. Whatever I promise, whatever I'm confident on, my opinions don't mean shit, right? This thing could shit the bed. We don't know. I'm not a programmer. I didn't design this thing. I don't know if there's backdoor flaws. I don't know the people who made this thing. There's a level of trust that goes into any crypto investment, especially with new projects. But that's why you don't bet the farm. That's why you don't bet the farm. But I do think that this is a trustworthy source. I think it's reputable. Steve Chen himself bought 3% of this supply. He's probably accrued more in that time, right? He's probably a large reason why the liquidity is so high for this thing, right? It's uncommon to find things that have like a liquidity ratio of like 10% or more, right? It's most of the time it's like less than 5%, right? I mean, if we were to look, I don't know, let's just go home on Deck Scanner here, right? And let's look at the top performers by volume, right? Here we are. Where's the liquidity? Right, top performer by volume, 730 million in volume, but you only have 426,000 in liquidity. Right, Pajamas has more liquidity available than this thing here. Right, like it's just it. And when you see stuff like this is obviously a scam. You shouldn't put your money into it, or maybe it'll evolve into something more later. But that's beside the point. All I'm trying to say, guys, is I think Pajamas is a good investment. I've really dragged on toward the end of this video. I got nothing else I want to say. Hit that like button, subscribe if you want to see more content like this. It seems like we're at a good area to start moving up, and I really do think that we're going to start moving up more. So congrats to everybody who snagged this low over the past 4 or 5 days now, and congrats to everybody who buys before we get above 1 cent again. Because once we get above 1 cent, I think the party doesn't stop till we get at least like to new all-time highs, guys. I really don't. I don't think it's going to stop till we get to new all-time highs. Likely 5 cents or more. So I mean that's a 10x from here. So, anyways, that's all I got. Hit the like button, subscribe. Bye bye. See you on the next one. Maybe I might not see you actually. You might see me, but I might not see you. Okay.